In Australian politics, it's often the major parties, the Labor Party and the Coalition, that dominate headlines. But there's a growing wave of voters who are turning to fringe parties for alternatives to the mainstream. In today's video, we'll explore three of Australia's prominent fringe parties: One Nation, the United Australia Party, and the Jackie Lambie Network. These parties have made waves in recent elections by capitalising on dissatisfaction with major parties. But what exactly do they stand for? And what are their chances of success in the next federal election? Let's dive in. One Nation, founded in 1997 by Pauline Hanson, is one of Australia's most well-known minor parties. The party focuses on issues related to national sovereignty, regional development, and economic protectionism. The party often resonates with voters who feel disconnected from mainstream politics, particularly in regional and rural areas. The party's message has evolved over time, but it generally centres on prioritising Australian interests in areas such as immigration, trade, and governance. One Nation often positions itself as a critic of government overreach and as a champion for those who feel left behind by globalisation. One Nation's policies focus on economic self-reliance, border security, and support for regional communities. Some of the party's core positions include immigration reform, advocating for controlled migration and a focus on skilled migration, support for Australian-owned businesses and protection of local industries from foreign competition, and increased government investment in regional infrastructure and services, particularly in areas that have seen less economic growth. The party also emphasises individual freedoms and government accountability, promoting policies that aim to reduce the influence of multinational corporations and foreign governments on Australia's economy. In the 2022 federal election, One Nation secured one seat, one in Queensland, and another in New South Wales from a defection. The party has also had success in the state level, particularly in Queensland, where it held representation in the state parliament until the 2024 Queensland state election. One Nation's core support comes from regional areas and working class voters, particularly those concerned about job security, cost of living, and government policies affecting rural communities. However, the party faces challenges in expanding its appeal to urban and younger voters. While some of the party's challenges come from how it's represented to the public by other political parties and the mainstream media, its focus on more polarising topics such as immigration, international trade, abortion, and nationalism are likely to push away less engaged and moderate voters. The United Australia Party, or UAP, led by Ralph Babet, is a minor party that aims to provide an alternative to the major parties by focusing on economic reform and personal freedoms. Originally founded as the Palmer United Party in 2013, it rebranded in 2018 and has become known for its large-scale, high-budget campaigns. The UAP's 2022 federal election campaign reportedly cost over $100 million, making it one of the most expensive in Australian history. Despite this, the party failed to secure any House of Representatives seats, though it did win one Senate seat in Victoria. The UAP's policies focus on reducing government debt and stimulating job creation, opposing lockdowns and vaccine mandates, promoting personal freedoms, and expanding Australia's resource sector to boost self-reliance. The UAP's financial backing gives it broad visibility through large campaigns, and its message appeals to voters disillusioned with government policies. However, the party's reliance on Clive Palmer's leadership and funding raises concerns about longevity. While the UAP has influences in the Senate, it has struggled to translate national exposure into lower house success, limiting its impact on legislative outcomes. Going forward, its ability to broaden its leadership and maintain voter engagement will be key to its sustainability. Our last party on this list is the Jackie Lambie Network, which was founded in 2014 by Senator Jackie Lambie, a former soldier who became involved in politics to advocate for veterans' affairs and regional communities. The party is based in Tasmania and presents itself as a practical, centrist and big tent alternative focused on grassroots solutions, rather than adhering to strict ideological positions. The JLN's platform emphasises practical reforms aimed at improving social services and supporting vulnerable Australians, with a particular focus on veterans and defence personnel support, affordable housing and healthcare, reducing government debt while maintaining essential public services. The party's policies reflect a focus on local issues and constituent needs, particularly in Tasmania. The JLN holds one Senate seat from Tasmania, making it a small but influential presence in the upper house. It also holds one Legislative Assembly seat in the Tasmanian Parliament. Jackie Lambie has established a reputation for negotiating policy outcomes by working with both major parties, using her independent status to secure concessions on issues important to her constituents. However, the JLN's influence remains largely limited to Tasmania, and expanding its national appeal will remain a key challenge. Despite this, the party has shown consistency in its messaging, and its willingness to collaborate across political divides makes it a notable player in Australian politics. While these fringe parties offer alternatives to the major political players, they face significant challenges in achieving sustained success. The mainstream media tends to focus on the Labor coalition divide, making it difficult for minor parties to gain national visibility. Australia's preferential voting system benefits major parties, particularly in the House of Representatives. Minor parties often have more success in the Senate, which uses proportional representation. Many fringe parties are seen as single issue or personality driven, which can alienate moderate voters. With growing disenchantment with the major parties, fringe parties like One Nation, the UAP and the JLN are well positioned to capitalise on voter dissatisfaction. However, their success will depend on broadening their appeal, avoiding internal divisions and adapting to changing political landscapes. As the next federal election approaches, these parties will be looking to strengthen their grassroots support and secure critical Senate seats. Whether you agree with their policies or not, fringe parties are an increasingly important role in shaping Australian politics. They provide alternatives to the two-party system and give voice to voters who feel left out by the major parties. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed our content, consider subscribing and ringing the bell so you can keep in the loop regarding the important news stories from around Australia. We're also pleased to announce the release of our 4th edition of the Snapshots newsletter. This edition highlighting significant global headlines as well as major news from around Australia and beyond. You can access for free through the link down below. Lastly, I'd like to thank our regular supporters and the team for making this video possible. Your support is crucial, and if you'd like to help, consider buying us a coffee, our merchandise, or purchasing a premium membership so you can gain exclusive perks and early access to future content. Once again, I'm Heath Clark. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.